I'd like to call the meeting to order. The District of Chetwynd, can I have the opening statement read, please?
As we gather today on the traditional territory of the Treaty 8 Nations to conduct the business of the District of Chetwynd, we do so knowing that we are privileged to serve the citizens of this community, and we shall endeavor to conduct our business in their best interest. Thank you.
Prior to adoption of the agenda, is there any new business to add to the new business list? Mayor has one. Send a letter of support to the mayor and council of Jasper, Alberta. Just saying we're thinking of them. If the CAO would like to write one and send it to us for approval, and we'll get it sent off.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you. We'll discuss what might be in the letter, but anyway, any others? Mel? Councillor Deck?
Northern Health and the electric car plugins.
Are we good? Council, do business? Okay. We'll add those three items to our agenda. Adoption of the agenda.
Motion to adopt with the 3 additional items.
Second.
All those in favor? Carried. All those in favor? Carried. Minutes. Minutes of the meeting held on July 15th, 2024, meeting of the whole.
Motion to receive.
Second.
Any errors or omissions? Staff? None? All those in favor? Carried. Minutes of the regular council meeting held on July 15th, 2024.
Motion to adopt. Second.
Any errors or omissions? All those in favor? Carried. No delegations. No bylaws, community reports, and liaison reports. Okay, Mayor has one. Mayor's got a report. So good afternoon, Tansin Nichuaganak. I would like to say a few words on diversion at our hospitals and people we have that work in our communities, like the doctors and nurses who give their time to help us and our community and others outside our community boundaries. The pay for the healthcare is huge, and that means the dollars go into our health and our healthy living style. In cases across BC, not only here in Chetwynd, it is a lack of ER nurses and doctors to cover our ER. If we do not have an ER nurse or doctor to cover ER, the emergency room, the hospital goes down. So when you see a nurse or a doctor on their day off, we should be thanking them for their time here in Chetwynd, that they live here to help to serve our community and to keep our hospital open. So be kind, appreciate working people. They are part of the community just like you and I. I believe we should be protecting our community members and advocating for the things that we are desperately needed from our nurses and doctors. Just say thank you. And I, as an individual, appreciate an ER nurse. She was very instrumental in saving my grandson. This was probably, he was premature, and he was 2 years old and he caught a cold. And the doctor was going to hold him for 2 or 3 more hours, see if he responded to the medication. He did not. It was half hour into that time where the ER nurse said, no, I'm going to go light a fire under his, and you know what? And she did. Half hour later, they called air ambulance. Mom and grandson were off. So these people are very important to us. They should be important to you. They are certainly important to me. So let's just thank them for their duties that they do here in Chetwynd. Sometimes not all about money. It's about the life and the life of my grandson for sure. There was an open invite to the Soto Pemmican Days on July 19th to 20th. I attended with my grandkids. It was wonderful. It was a wonderful weekend at Soto First Nations Pemmican Days. I also danced in a competition. It was a blast being part of the festivities. It happens every second weekend or in third weekend in July, Pemmican Days, and it's an open invite. And just a side note, I did attend West Moberly Days too, 2 weeks later. But on July 24th, 2024, Mayor and Council attended the grand opening of the Soto First Nations Cultural Center. We were entertained with traditional dancers and had some wonderful food. The building itself is wonderfully constructed, and staff stated that the center was one of a kind, which we all think of our buildings, and this one especially too is kind of one of a kind. Well, they hold it dearly to their heart because culture it goes along with language. If you don't have culture, you lose your language. You don't have language, you lose your culture. So it was quite important to them. Some of them were in tears, some of the staff, that they got such a wonderful building. And we were all thanking their chief and council and previous chiefs and councils. So with that, I end my report. But I would like to say that it's very important for our emergency nurses and doctors that we keep in touch and making sure that they're very important to our community. Okay, thank you. Any others? We're good? Okay. Discussion items. An invite from Doig River First Nations, TELUS and funding groups. Doig River fiber internet groundbreaking. Okay, I'll just put that one out there. So
I'll make the motion that council authorize the mayor or alternate to attend the Doig River First Nation fiber internet groundbreaking at Doig River First Nations on August the 7th, 2024. Second.
any discussion? Okay. All those in favor? Carried. Email from the Chetwynd Communication Society, read letter of support.
I'll make that recommendation that council provide a letter of support to the Chetwynd Communication Society for its grant application to Northern Development Initiative Trust, Northern Healthy Communities Fund, to hire a professional multimedia journalist.
Second.
Discussion. Julia, Councillor Nelson.
Just curious, is this grant going to fully cover your new staff member?
Over there. CAO, is that it's fine? Okay.
The idea is that for 3 years, their salary would be paid. That's correct. Their salary and some equipment would be nice. So we're hoping that we can get someone. That's the thing. So keeping avenues open for option 1 would be to have somebody here full time. 2 is part time, and then option 3 would be remote, but full time or part time. I don't want to shut any doors down, as I've been down, I guess, some of the having in person options, and they've been tough. So that's why remote may be a good option for us too. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it sounds like a brilliant opportunity. How many people are working over there right now, Marlon?
We have a total of 8. That's with our staff and our sales in Dawson. Okay, and 2 of those are seasonal. So yeah, this person adding 1 more to just focus specifically on youth would be great. And the reason why I'm putting in the application like this specifically for someone professional is because the idea is that, yes, there are blogs and there are different things, but the training that goes behind the ethical side of journalism is very important, in all honesty, and the factual and researching that I went through, I know is very important as opposed to just, I know anyone can kind of pick it up, but there are many things that you're taught that you should follow, seriousness. So that's why I genuinely want to advocate for professional journalism training. And then the other thing being that we have other news stations, like, I won't give you the specific, but at Fort St. John or Dawson Creek that say that they cover us, but they don't have anybody present here. So yes, they do write the odd article, and that's great, we work in partnership with them when we can, but we still don't have somebody here who can actually do that nonstop and focus on that. And that's what we're hoping to get.
Thank you.
Any more question? Okay. All those in favor? Carried. Quite convenient, I think. Thanks, Marlon. And informative, yeah. Maybe you would have to request, delegation from the Communication Society. Good plan, Bonnie.
Yeah.
Okay, let's carry on. Okay, correspondence. Letter from British Columbia Office of the Human Rights Commission, date July 30th, 2024.
Motion to receive. Second.
Any discussion on it? Councillor McDonald?
I just have a comment. So I do know that they've recently hired a specific engagement advisor for Northern British Columbia. So hopefully that will build better community relationships with and alleviate any concerns moving forward with whatever came out of our report. And I was sad to see that they didn't make mention to the negative impact that we have seen when it comes to recruiting professionals as well, that we have seen come out of this particular study so far.
Any more? Staff? Any comment? It's an opportunity. Okay,
Yeah, I've got something.
okay, go ahead, Councillor Nelson.
I thought our CAO's letter was really quite poignant, and everybody at this table clearly was upset with this brief. And I will point out just a couple statements out of it, that the community briefs are not comprehensive, that those are their words as they're responding to us, and that they're saying that we should use these tools as for local governments organization to support ongoing efforts to advocate for our community. And I feel I mimic Councillor McDonald's statement there, because I felt that it was extremely damaging. And if this is a tool to advocate for our community, I think we're kind of looking at it from the wrong aspect. And hopefully with whoever they've hired to do some further work on this brief, that we can see a bit more of a positive representation, because the truth of it is we're all here to sing the praises of our beautiful community and to hopefully bring in some new doctors and educators. And I think the best way to do that is to really focus on the positive. Thank you.
Any more? Okay. All those in favor? Carried. Letter from the Forestry Workers of BC team dated July 29th, 2024. Forestry Workers of BC.
I'll make a motion to receive for information with the request to send her a letter of support.
Second?
Discussion? Councillor McDonald?
I just wanted to highlight the get involved for our community members. So they have a couple of different ways to get involved with this particular initiative, and it's send a message to government by email or on their website. Follow them on social media or ask your MLA or MLA candidates how they can help ensure that the forestry provides for BC into the future.
Any more? On the mayor's part and council, we do advocate for the forestry, and we've talked to the other forestry company that has since moved. So we do a lot of advocacy for the forestry, for fiber, to have our community still viable for that kind of sustainability in the forestry. But when we talk to the Minister of Forest, that's where we get stalled in positions of this is the way it's going to be. And it's kind of tough to advocate for this is the way it's going to be in British Columbia. So, but we continue to support forestry workers here and elsewhere. So yes, your points are well taken. And I just want to make sure that as mayor and council, we do support all industry, and especially the ones that brought us here today. And I believe we live in and work in a place, like I'm talking about our houses, 2x4s, 2x6s, and look at these laminated beams. They're made in British Columbia. Maybe I'm not too sure about the history of where all the round beams came from, but I'm certain they're from British Columbia. If I'm not, I'll have to look it up. But this is what we do, and thank you for your points. Okay, all those in favor? Carried. Information items.
I'd like to pull out I-7 on page 22. Is this working?
I-7,
I have one to pull too.
okay.
CI2.
Okay, any others?
We bringing up the extra ones?
Yeah, I've, was it through an email? Because I couldn't pull them up. Do we have the paper on do we get extra information items? There's I1, I2, which one are we,
I-7 is just the one I have to
Okay.
vote for.
yeah. Yep,
Two.
I2, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly the same. No, we got I1, I've got I2 and I7 and I7.
If the website is up to date, then yes, I2. It's the compass.
Okay.
The application intake for community emergency.
Okay. Once you guys got it, and you guys will do. Any others? Good. Okay. And we need to accept I1, I3 to 6, and I8 to 19.
Motion to receive.
Second.
And all those in favor? And receive I1 through 6. Right? We're just doing the II-7?
Motion to receive.
Okay, second? I did it in two separate, but anyway, let's do that. All those in favor? Carried. Okay, we'll deal with I-2.
Thank you. I was just reading this over and I didn't dive too deep into it, but with Jasper, and everything that we have seen happen there, I keep going back to some sort of fire break specifically around the hospital area. And I know that fires can jump long distances, but it's more the access point for emergency vehicles in the event that we do have a fire come near town. Is this something that would be like within our realm to apply for that type of?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll get CA to respond.
Yes, we're actually, every year we do prescription removal of trees that are fire hazards and or just hazardous. So generally we spend around $35,000 and this is grant funded. Last year we did around the Legion. Last 2 years we've done the Legion. This year they're down in the Crown Sub, cleaning up. There's some bad hazardous trees left behind from the beavers and stuff. And then the hospital is slated for next year. Now, in conjunction with that, we're looking into the grant opportunities for different types of fire mitigation measures. The worries with fire breaks are like when we toured the Houston fire break, it's 450 meters wide, it's 30 kilometers long. The guy that designed it says, yeah, it doesn't stop a fire, but it gives people a place to marshal from, like wildfire fighters. The fires will jump Williston Lake, they'll jump the Peace River. To make an actual fire break per se is nearly impossible in our terrain, but we're looking at everything we can to mitigate it, to keep our residents as safe as possible. So we're doing it through the emergency preparedness grant funding. We're doing it through the Fire Smart program, but we're trying to keep on top of it as best we can. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
And I asked the same question today, actually, about how we were managing and what we were doing, and I got the same answer. Thanks for asking that question. Yeah. So, I-7.
I just have a question. So it's on page 22, new solar, and this may be more of an Ellen thing, but she's not here. New solar battery storage incentives. I just see that BC Hydro has announced a new incentive program, and I was just wondering if we as a district are capitalizing, because it says 50 to 150 rebates for local government, schools, and businesses, if there's an opportunity to put some on some of our buildings.
We do review this really regularly as well. We started actually, as long as I've been with the District of Chetwynd, we've looked at it to try to find the right fit. We were looking at solar panels for the rec center at one point as well. It's kind of shifting technology, and a lot of the local governments that have put in solar projects have not always been totally happy with the results. And we want to make sure that we get the right fit. But it's something we look at every year,
Okay.
try to find the right fit.
Okay.
And technology moves a lot faster than what we think sometimes, that it creates some better stuff out there, so that the improvement in the cold weather that we do have, right? So that just some issues. But anyway, good enough. We'll move on to I-7. So RJ and Bentley Nichols. Says, I'm writing a letter to your company hoping to secure sponsorship for the 2024-2025 high school rodeo season. This is our second year competing. Last year, RJ was in the top 2 all over southern and northern BC, and ended his junior year with placing reserve oil all around uh, all around champion. RJ has now moved up to the seniors and will compete in team roping and calf roping. RJ is very dedicated to all his practicing and making sure he is ready to compete. Bentley started halfway through last year and she is doing simply amazing. She has won a couple of beautiful buckles and her unicorn Loki. We expect her to have a remarkable year. Bentley competes in barrel racing, pole bending, goat tying, and breakaway, and just starting to team rope. Miss Bentley is very dedicated to practicing daily to keep her horse in shape and in shape to compete. Both kids are very passionate and committed and about being in the rodeo world and would appreciate any of the following items sponsored so we can hit the road. Travel panels, we would need 10. Fuel, food, and accommodation support. Clinic fees, entry fees. Thank you, Nichols family, Chuck, Daphne, RJ, and Bentley. Any counselors on?
This is reports for information.
No, it's of course an information item, yeah.
So if we want to, we could bring it up to a regular council meeting. Is this, we can, because information, we're just taking it in, right?
Yes, you can.
Discussion, right? We could just,
And you can make motions on them for discussion, or you can just leave them in the information items.
any discussion on the matter?
Clearly, these kids are working very hard. I'd like to invite the Nichols family to ask us for a dollar amount and bring it to the next meeting so we can have a proper vote. I think it's kind of difficult to just give an itemized list of what they potentially need. I think we need to have a proper dollar figure.
Yep. I'll just go to staff first. Staff.
Just gonna comment that
Uh,
I'll use this much. I was just gonna comment that you have a policy on funds like this, and currently your policy states that you provide funding for travel for individuals or teams if they have reached a provincial, national, or international event. So this would be outside of that policy. And unless they reach that event, that level, then they could come back and ask for funds, but to ask for a blanket, it doesn't meet your current policy.
Yep. So in any other terms, we could probably ask council or to change anything that we need to if we think it's necessary, right? So it's still, they still can come present, but we could still advise them on that matter too, as staff has indicated to us. Okay? Any more? McDonald? Councilor McDonald?
That answered my question.
Oh, okay, thank you. Did you still want to put the invite out to them? Because it sounds interesting. I'm totally interested in youth and what they do for our community and their selves.
Yes, I think that we should go back to them and invite them to even potentially delegate if they so wish. I think it's valuable to the culture of our community. And despite the fact this may not be on a provincial level, we have supported groups such as Filipino groups to go play basketball in Dawson Creek. And we continue to support community groups, maybe individuals, but I think it's worth it.
So is that council wish to, or we could just put it out? Does it have to be a council motion to ask or just?
That's pretty much, it's staff direction at this point. It doesn't need to be a motion. We'll invite the Nichols to come as a delegation.
And just a question, should we give them our policy? Just in case, well, it's not something, but do we give it to them during their presentation? I think they should have all the information on hand prior to coming to delegation, because we are interested in what they're doing.
Absolutely, that's totally fair, and we can do that. You know, mayor and council can decide how they want to progress with it. In the past, like Crystal speaks to, you know, like it's, you know, we could start it supporting individual volleyball players or hockey players to go to each regular tournament as well. But there's a cost factor to that, and it's not budgeted this year. So that's always a factor to consider. That's why the policy was put in place earlier about, you know, a certain level of competition, mostly team oriented, and kind of going from there. But I can extend the invitation to the Nichols family and let them know what the policy is, and then we can see if we can conform to the policy.
And if you don't mind, that just indicate that myself are interested and other councillors are interested in what they're doing. Okay? Okay. Good enough? No more? Okay. Done. Yep. I'll text her.
Motion to receive
I-7?
7, 2.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, and 7227. Correct. Second? I mean, second on acceptance.
Second.
Yep. Okay, any discussion? Good. Everybody in favor? Okay. Moving on. We'll move to reports for action. Just let me get RA1, Danny Ganson, development permit number 03-2024.
I'd like to make a motion that council approve the issuance of development permit number 03-2024 to Danny Ganson to construct a 25 feet wide times 32 feet long warehouse addition to existing shop on the southwest side, aligning with existing roof slope, which is 25 feet tall. Dry building, no water or sewer, just power and power heat on the property at 4537 44th Ave Northeast, Lot 10, District Lot 494, Peace River District Plan 24681, subject to Ministry of Transportation and Infrastructure approval.
Second.
Any discussion on it? All those in favor? Carried. RA2, carving donation for the Tumbler Ridge.
I'll make the motion that council approve the carving donation of the dinosaurs on the brain to Tumbler Ridge.
Any discussion on it? Councillor McDonald, then Nelson.
This is another one of my favorite carvings. I'm happy that I can go and see them in other locations. I just love this carving, and I'm happy to see it go to somewhere like Tumbler Ridge.
My sentiment was truly going to be, Councillor McDonald, are you going to be okay with us getting rid of this carving? Because I know how you felt about lionfish going to Smithers, and Smithers is not as close as Tumbler.
I still plan to visit it.
Okay, if Councillor McDonald approves it, I'm okay with it.
Any more tears? Any more discussion on it? Okay, all those in favor? Carried. RA3, Extreme Cold Mapping and Assessment Partnership.
I'll make the motion that council approves the submitted project award as presented for the Extreme Cold Risk Mapping and Assessment Partnership Project to Frontera Forest Solutions, Inc. in the amount of $23,450.70, all costs to be provided from the Indigenous engagement requirements for the Emergency Management Planned Funds.
Second.
Okay, got that. Okay, any discussion? Councillor McDonald?
Is this the same type of process that we did for the heat mapping as well?
Staff?
Absolutely. It's even considerably less expensive than the heat mapping because most of the preliminary work has been done. The surveying aspects, the mapping aspects, the population ratios and densities, all that stuff has already been done as part of the heat mapping. This is basically a continuation of the same project.
Is this so people have a place to go if it's cold or just like it's cold in the winter? I don't know what the like. I know we have extreme heat in the summers now, but like, what's considered extreme cold? Like, why is this part of it as well?
Well, basically the short version is every year in Canada, we lose vulnerable people to both heat and cold. And the whole idea of the project is to mitigate that and to reduce unnecessary death or injury. And cold is probably well, I would say historically has been our most significant hazard up here. And so it's all about warming spaces, what constitutes extreme cold, where people can shelter, who's vulnerable in the area, the community. And we've partnered with Soto and Westmore as well on this. And so all three local governments are working together to try to make the residents as safe as possible.
Thank you.
Councillor Nelson?
Can you clarify the financial implications? It was my belief that the funding was provided to do the heat mapping, and I see that we do have this dollar figure here. Is it also under that grant amount, or is it a separate finance?
It's part of the same grant funding, but it's a separate grant application because it's a separate project. But it is completely paid for because we partner with West Moberly and Soto. It's paid for with this Indigenous engagement requirement for the emergency management planning funds. So there, as part of the emergency management planning, there's a component that requires input from local First Nations and Indigenous communities. And that's whether that's our 30% of our residents who are or who do identify as being Indigenous or the local First Nations. And so by consulting with all of these folks, we get this grant funding, and that 23,000 comes totally out of that. It doesn't come from our taxpayers.
Thanks, Steve.
Any more? All those in favor? Carried. RA4, Youth Leadership Scholarship.
I'd like to make a recommendation that the 2024 Youth Leadership Scholarship be awarded to Deacon Tower, subject to verification of enrollment in a post-secondary program.
Second.
Any discussion? Councillor McDonald?
It says that there was 2 applications received. Was the other one ineligible?
I can answer that. I was part of the committee that voted him in. Deacon had a significantly larger profile on the things that he's done for community, and the other person did not finish completing the application. There's parts missing. If you get a chance to read what this young fellow has done, he's been very helpful to the community.
So the answer was yes. There was 2
Yes, ones.
One, that's correct. Okay, thank you. Councillor? Any other discussion?
I think that the application was complete as it was in there, but it just Deacons had more information in it. It wasn't incomplete, the other application.
He's missing. They were supposed to supply more info.
Sorry, I can speak to that. It was complete.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't as fulsome as.
Okay, yeah, we got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. All those in favor? Carried. All right. No reports for information. Okay, we'll do the new business. We dealt with the new business from the mayor, so the letter's going to be written by CAO and sent around, and we'll send it out to Jasper. So thanks, Steve. We'll go to Northern Health.
Yes, I just read a couple of articles here recently, and there's from two different people. First one with Northern Health, there seems to be a bit of Northern Health bashing of our local people. I'd just like to make it clear, I don't think they have, I don't think they're the ones responsible for scheduling. I mean, you can't schedule what you don't have for starters. And like the mayor was saying in his opening statement, I think our local people are doing everything they can and the best that they can. But yeah, I just don't think it's their issue. Also, there was I read another article in regards to the closures in Chetwynd, and they reported 8. And I'm wondering if that was last week or is that supposed to be this year's count? Because if it's this year's count, I think they're out by a magic mile or so. And then I just had a question about the car charging stations. Is there 2 of them out there, one over there and one over there? I thought we were supposed to have them both in the parking lot over here.
There was supposed to be, the original design was to have them in line by the Visitor Information Center. The people designing it came back and requested that we move the one spot to where it is now because of a space issue. And mayor and council approved that change in 2023, I believe.
I thought there was all supposed to be charging stations over here, and they weren't supposed to tie up that area because of mobile homes and so on going through. Because first off, they started over by Carver's Road, then over in front of A&W, and then they wanted the parking space by the fire hall, and then we ended up deciding that they were going to be in the parking lot over here. That was my understanding.
Well, I can look into it more, Councillor, but for my understanding is what they did is what the final approval was. Director of Engineering, is that your understanding too?
That is my understanding, but it did go through quite a few iterations, so I see.
Regardless, it don't really matter now they're over there, but I don't think they're in the right place personally. Thank you.
Any questions on the new items? Go ahead, Councillor Smith.
Has anybody used them yet? Does anybody know they're there?
They're not hooked up yet, so they are finished construction and now they're waiting on BC Hydro to come in and do the final connection.
Go ahead, Councillor Nelson.
I do have a statement on those. I did have a very forward-thinking fellow come up to me and say, you know, mayor and council is really thinking to the future. Saw some electric charging stations and congratulations. And I just thought, well, you know, there are some people out there who do appreciate it.
And I would even add one more to that. While they were finishing up the construction, there was a lady drove up with her electric car and wanted to charge it and was waving her arms, and she was very, very happy. So it was, I think the people that need it, I do receive regular communications from residents and tourists and travelers asking why we don't have charging stations in town. I think it will be welcome. And as a BC Hydro funded project, it's cheap. So that's good too.
I can't let this go. I don't think it's all roses. I think our gas station should be able to come up to us and say, are you gonna clean the parking lots? Are you gonna give us tax-free property to set your charging stations up? I just can't let that slide without putting that comment in. I think it should be left up to free enterprise, is my personal opinion.
Any others? I have a little one on electricity. I had talked to a fella down in West Moberly, and he was there. He had a company. He says, what do you do for backup power in Chetwynd when the power goes out? And he says, we have batteries that will power your whole community. So I will contact him and we will discuss that matter. So a battery, and then my response was, how long does a battery last? And I don't know if it was, the power's like, just like any other battery, it should run out at some time. So he says, once it's done, there's no waste or something like that. And I says, but you still have that, do you recycle the battery itself? So he's gonna give me more information. He was kind of there, and I found it very interesting when here we are talking about electric vehicles and what a committee could do. And he was talking about the ones in the north that run on diesel, right? So, and he just come up to me and says, "Oh yeah, what do you do for backup?" So anyway, I'll get more information from him. I think he works with West Moberly, so I should be able to get more information. Just curiosity, but it might be one of the things that we could look into if it's viable. Like, I'm certain the battery's going to cost a lot of money, just like anything else right now, but for the future, maybe. So anyway, any more on electric vehicles, power stations? Okay, good. And at the,
Motion we receive new business items 1, 2, 3.
do we really? Okay. Somebody make that motion?
Motion to receive new business items 1, 2, and 3.
Second.
Any more discussion on it? Okay, all those in favor? Carried. At this time, we give the opportunity to the public to ask any questions on the items of today that were on the agenda. State your name.
Neil Larson, I'm the Executive Director of the Chetwynd Chamber of Commerce. The Youth Scholarship Award, it reminded me that we do have our Business Excellence Awards coming up, as well as partnering with the District of Chetwynd for the Civic Awards for Citizen of the Year, Junior Citizen of the Year, and Volunteer of the Year. And hearing you guys speak about this remarkable person who got the award, just a reminder that we are taking nominations for these types of folks. So you can actually just hit a QR code on any of our posters around town. And there's nominations in, so it's coming up in middle of November.
Councillor Nelson, you have a question for her?
Thanks for
Naomi,
that, Naomi. I
Yep.
was just gonna ask when the date was, so you covered it. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Great question, by the way. Okay, any others? We're good? Media? All, okay, adjournment?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, second. Everybody's in favor? Let's go. Thanks, staff.
Which is Red Dress Day, and it's the day to honor our missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls and Two-Spirited people. Red Dress Day was started by Jamie Black. She was hanging red dresses in the trees of her community to represent those that we've lost and to bring awareness.
Is there anyone personally in the community here that we know that we've lost in, like, I guess, through any of the like highways or anything like that? Do you know?
Yes, quite a few, and some very close to our family here at Tansy Friendship Center.
Sorry to hear that. And so, have you guys always usually been doing something for it since it began to be recognized?
Yes, we try to make some event in whatever form it looks like each year here at Tansy. In the past, we've done drumming on the front stairs. I think this was our first year for a long time doing the walk.
Why did you guys choose to do the walk?
This year we chose to do a walk because we were thinking of different ways to make awareness, have our voices heard, and actually Jeanette went to training and learned how to make that big banner that you saw. So we put all the stories, which are the words, on that banner, and we wanted to show the whole community.
Okay, and then tell me about the small little dolls.
Oh yes, the Faceless Doll Project. So that was actually started by the Native Women's Association of Canada in 2012. Now back in 2012, there was an estimated 600 women and girls missing across Canada. Unfortunately, we don't know the accurate number, but we're looking at over 4,000. So the dolls represent these women who've become faceless victims of crime, and no two dolls are the same, and each one is a story. It's a statistic.
And did the community sort of partake here to make their own doll?
We did. We sent some kits out to our schools in the community. We showcased them at 10 businesses across the town. We got close to 200, which was really amazing.
Remember me, when the sun comes up in the morning sky. There I will be, soaring with the eagle so high, feeling free. Remember me, down the road, hand in hand, you and me. Hey-oh, hey-oh, hey-oh. Hello, hey, hey, hey-oh, 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 hey.
The Lion Inn and Suites and the Red Lion Restaurant are independently owned and operated by Ken and Lily Chan. With daily, weekly, and monthly rates, the Lion is perfect for visitors to stay one night, a few days, or for the duration of a job in the Peace region. As a guest, stay in one of our 19 modern suites with brand-name mattresses, fully equipped kitchens, exotic hardwood flooring, and coin-operated laundry machines. Enjoy all the amenities of home. Have a little time to relax? Each one of our suites includes a giant flat-screen TV, complimentary cable television, and free internet access. The Lion Inn and Suites is wheelchair accessible and staff is on duty 24/7, providing round-the-clock security. So, for your next getaway, come experience our brand new luxury suites. For reservations, call 250-788-9990. Reserve online at thelionsuite.com or email thelionsuites@gmail.com. 5132 46th Avenue Northwest, Chetwynd, BC. The Lion Inn and Suites, your executive home away from home.